My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa, that's all, folks. It's Elegbete TV Radio. Follow us on social media at Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa, that's my name. Talking sports is my game, and I am the greatest. I love listening to Elegbete TV Radio for undiluted, unadulterated. It's probably replicated, but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Elegbete TV Radio. I seriously love listening to it. Elegbete TV Radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Monday edition of the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Idafi Matthias. You're streaming live on Elegbete TV Sports YouTube channel. Wherever you are, how was your weekend? Whether you are up in the north, down in the south, on the east coast or the west coast, any part of the world that you are in. I know that 3 hours somewhere is midnight in the world, and so we are not on the same time zone, but we're on the same world, different continent, different planet, the same planet, but it is the same world. And football speaks the world's language. Everybody understands football one way or the other, just as some understand it better than others. And it was a weekend of football thrillers. Bayern Munich were up for 5 and they were ridiculously incredible. But it was FC Barcelona who played the El Clasico, while Real Madrid played the Offside Clasico, being spearheaded by Kylian Mbappe, who doesn't understand what it is to really play in the Clasico. Well, it was a battle of boys versus men at the newly upgraded Estadio Bernabeu, but that didn't change anything because Barcelona played the flick ball and flick everything in like they were at home. Just the same way Nottingham Forest went away on Friday to Leicester City and showed the home side that, look, this might be King Power Stadium, but we are powerful enough to bring it down. And they won 3-1. Yes, it was also beautiful for Maduka Okoye as he led his team at home against Cagliari, keeping his third clean sheet of the season as they won Udinese 2, Cagliari 0. Torino were 1 goal to the good as they beat Cesc Fabregas' team 1-0 on Friday night. Espanyol, Sevilla finally found a way to win 2-0 in that lovely game on Friday to kickstart the weekend, and then Saturday rolled by and then it took a stop and everyone had a field day. Aston Villa were brought to a halt, not by a defeat, but Bournemouth showed why they beat Arsenal and was able to get a draw at Villa Park. Well, it was a different conversation between Brentford and yet to win a game this season, Ipswich Town, who raced to a lead, and we thought that this was the game that they were going to win. Brentford coming off the defeat to Manchester United previously, but then they found a way to muster strength and courage and a fight back to win the game 4-3 in a 7-goal thriller. Brighton and Wolves, yes, Wolves are still struggling anyway, but they were able to get a draw on this one as the game ended 2 goals apiece. Manchester City, they were in the city playing against Southampton. We all thought it was going to be a splurge and a waterfall, a rush of goals. Well, an early goal by Alan Alla, true strength and power in the 18-yard box, powering the ball to the roof by deflecting it in. But after that, there was nothing. It lasted. If that game had gone another 2 years, still would have ended 1-0. Everything are gradually picking points and putting them in the pocket as they were able to get a 1-1 draw against Fulham at home. Well, in France on Saturday, it was 4-2, Angers 4, Saint-Etienne 2. Reims lost at home to Brest. Yes, but they call it Bre. This is the first name of a football club that got me into trouble in my journey as a broadcaster. 20 years ago to the date exactly. And I call this club Brest. And this is what I saw, B-R-E-S-T. And I know that that's Brest. And It's the first time I ever heard NBC would write us. You will make NBC write us and punish us. Now, that's like I didn't get it. You know, that the argument was in my side because I was pronouncing as spelled, but it was a different conversation. It's a story for another day. Today is Monday. Monday is not a day for breast and journeying about women or penetration and lubrication. Monday is about business, and we're going to do the business of the day. Well, the club of Wilson Oruma back in the day played against the club of Vincent Yama and quite a few other Nigerian players. Leo won away from home at Lens by 2-0. The lenses of their cameras could not see the net. Well, in Germany on Saturday, it was Augsburg 2, Borussia Dortmund 1 with a red card to go with it. Right, RB Leipzig at some point it felt like it was going to end in a draw, but then they summoned courage, they call on the gods and the power of the eastern part of Germany, and they beat Freiburg 3-1. St. Pauli and Wolfsburg played at a goalless draw. Stuttgart won at home even with a card against Erstein Kiel 2-1. Both of them picked up a red card in that one. Werder Bremen and Bayer Leverkusen played at a 2-2 draw. Well, but then in Italy, Antonio Conte ball. Some people say it's boring. Whatever you call it, the most important thing is putting 3 points on the card, and they are picking it one game at a time. It doesn't matter how, whether you like it or you don't like it, that's your business. As it stands today, Napoli are 4 points clear of Inter Milan, who are in second, and Juventus are third with 5 points behind Napoli. So, like it or not, this is how they build it. On Sunday, remember, it was Inter Milan, Juventus, and I'm going to come to that. But Atalanta was 6 goals to the goals. After the game, Bologna, AC Milan was postponed. Well, Atalanta have been, up and down, struggling lately, but eventually you knew that they were going to come for the goods. And Ademola Lookman showed what a class apart from the rest he really is. Well, in the first 34 minutes, Ademola Lookman scored 2 goals and created 2 to put them 4 goals up in that game. And then for the second minute, the opposition made it 4-1, and you thought that was going to be it. Verona, who beat the only club to have beaten Napoli this season in the first game of the season. But then, what's his name now? The man who missed the penalty against Arsenal in the opening Champions League game, Retorgu, was there again to make it 6-1 as Ademola Lookman scored 2, created 2, and Retorgu also scored 1 in that process to put them 5-1 in the first 34 minutes. But then it was 6-1 by the 58th minute, and that's what she wrote as the game ended that way. But then there was so many more football matches to come, and it did came in Spain. Well, on Saturday, we saw Villarreal go away. The Yellow Submarine went away to Valladolid, and they won 2-1. Rayo Vallecano were 1-goal winner. Even though they picked up a red card in that game, Alaves couldn't use the one-man advantage count. They couldn't make it count, as Las Palmas also won against Girona. Last season, surprise team lost at Las Palmas 1-0. Real Madrid. What a night. Oh, what a night. Real Madrid were beaten 4-0. And when you look at the team sheet, you will be asking yourself, how did that even happen in the first place? Lewandowski could have scored a hat-trick or 4 goals in this game, but then he missed a greater chance with another one over the bar. Whatever happened, but he still scored 2 goals to pick up the man of the match gong. Dani Olmo came in for Casado in the 65th minute and decided to become the metronome of the game as he changed and controlled the tempo and the pace of the game. But even at that, yes, Lamine Yamal got an assist for Rafinha to make it 3-0. And then Martinez, assisted Rafinha to say, you are always assisting others. Let's give it to you in the 84th minute to make it 4-0. But look at this squad for a minute. For 1 minute, let's dwell on this squad. When you have the home side with Lunin, who led them in the Champions League final last season, you have Mendy, Rudiger, Militao, and Vasquez, and then you have Camavinga, Tchouameni, Valverde, and Jude Bellingham, who is now playing like a lost ship, look like a lost soul compared to the player that we saw last season. The introduction of Mbappe into the squad have changed it. Well, the man himself, Carlo Ancelotti, the Don, decided to play a flat out 4-4-2. Normally plays a diamond 4-4-2, a flat out 4-4-2, but it just didn't work. Later on, they changed back again to the 4-3-3. It still didn't work. The Barcelona kids, were too good for Real Madrid at home. This reminds me of that game where Ronaldinho played at his heart at the Estadio Bernabeu, and the fans of Real Madrid were clapping for him. So you have Koundé, Kubasi, who is growing in stature like Saliba, or probably a lot more calmer like Carlos Puyol. Too early to give him those accolades, but then he's showing some signs. And then you have Martinez and you have Balde. Last season, Balde was not really fantastic, but this season is come out good. Then you have Pedri and Casado, who were both substituted in the second half of the game. And then you have Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, Lopez, and then Lewandowski. Those are the guys. Major experience player in the Barcelona team is Lewandowski. But the factor, the game changer in this game is that man himself, who also led this team to beat Bayern 4-1 midweek. Remember, he was the manager of Bayern when they beat Barcelona, if my memory serves me right, 8-2. So without Ter Stegen, without Ferran Torres, Eric Garcia, Christensen, Bernal, and Araujo, they were still good enough to hammer the reigning champions of Spain by 4-0, 4 unreplied goals. I don't know. Is this the time to raise the white flag and say it is time for the Don to go? I don't know if that's going to happen, but even if he goes, who comes to take over? German coaches, their stocks are on the rise right now, and maybe it is time for Real Madrid. Last time they had a German coach was shut up. Maybe it is time for them to go get a German coach to fix them up, because even the English national team now have a German coach. Well, it was a night also that we thought that the Nigerian under-17 can progress past the quarterfinal stage of the FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup, but it didn't happen. So Nigeria were beaten 2-0 and were knocked out. It was the end of the road for Nigeria. Then came on Sunday, different games happened on Sunday. Let's run through those games that happened on Sunday and let's see how it went. Chelsea started the day, in the English Premier League with a 2-1 win over Newcastle. Newcastle are still struggling. And then you have Crystal Palace, who's not won a single game this season, beating the hopeless, useless, shitty Tottenham Hotspur by 1-0. Eze was on flick on this particular game, and it was beautiful. West Ham, who are also struggling, saw the devil and put them under their feet, even though Manchester United had enough chances to bury this game. 8 wins in 22 for the man Erik ten Hag is a sign of shitty play. Worse than Tottenham Hotspur right now. I don't care what anybody say. I still hold on to my prediction that before my birthday, this man will be fired. Let him continue playing the way he's playing. With the injury ravaging his team, Mikel Arteta will look at the result and say, well, we did well. 2-2, we're forced to a 2-2 draw. Would have been good if they won this game. I mean, just the same way we said would have been good if they beat Man City. But then it was a 2-2 draw. Mo Salah came and made it happen towards the end of the game. But then that was all she wrote. In France, it was Lyon 2, Auxerre 2, just like Arsenal, Liverpool. And then in France as well, Montpellier with Adams Accord there, they lost at home 3-0. Montpellier are really horrible this season. Can't defend to save their life. Can't pass the ball 3 times before losing it. And then again, the battle between Nice and Monaco. Monaco took the lead, got the red card, and Nice came from behind to make it 2-1. That's what she wrote. Strasbourg beat Nantes 3-0. Olympique de Marseille were taken to the cleaners by Paris Saint-Germain. Tabletoppers beating them at home, and also with a red card to the good for them. I think there are more red cards in football today than we've ever seen, even though there are lesser tackles in football today than we've ever seen. Well, in Germany on Sunday yesterday, it was Bayern Munich 5 away from home to Bochum, and they showed their class. Everybody was scoring in this game. 5 different scorers in this game. Union Berlin and Eintracht Frankfurt played at a 1-1 draw, even though Eintracht Frankfurt had 1 red card in the game. Heidenheim and Offenheim, 2 clubs that their names sound the same, played at a goalless draw. In the Italian Serie A, there was a cracker and another cracker. Yes, the first game of the day was Parma versus Empoli. It ended 1-1. Lazio beat Genoa 3-0. Monza played at a 2-2 draw with Venezia, even though Monza picked up a red card in that game. Inter Milan versus Juventus. This one was a cracker. This was an 8-goal thriller, an explosion. What you can do, we can do. Juventus started this game with a very good defensive record by Thiago Motta, but Inter Milan were having nothing of it. They were not interested in whatever the records were. there. But then Juventus, they did their best to give as much as they got because it was pound for pound in boxing term. This game was a pound for pound fight. 15th minute of the game, Pietro Zelensky scored a penalty for Inter Milan, and that seems to provoke the wrath of Juventus as quick fire goes 5 minutes later. And 6 minutes after that, Dusan Vlahovic made it 1-1. And before you know it, it was Timothy Weah. Georgia Pongwea's little US son made it 2-1. And Eric Mkhitaryan got an assist from Lilian Thuram's son, Marcus Thuram, to make it 2-2. And then Pietro Zelensky again scored another penalty. And just when you think this is the end of the matter, it's going to be 3-2. Well, in the second half, it resumed. Dumfries, yes, Daniel Dumfries made it 4-2 for Inter. And it would have been good if you say end of story, Inter Milan have won this one. But then on the 71st minute, it was a different story. Yildiz, who had just come in the 62nd minute, made it 4-3. And then you could see that Juventus were already smelling blood, and they made it 4-4 in the 82nd minute. It was Yildiz night as he came off the bench to bang in 2 goals. That's all she wrote in that game. It was Evan Stevens, but the biggest winner from that game was Napoli, who had won the previous day by a goal to nothing. It now puts a little bit of gap between them and the chasing pack. There is a respite there. They can afford to lose one game and still be on top, but it doesn't look like they want to do that. Fiorentina, the Violas, okay? The club where the man himself, who's created his myth, his legend, the Angel of Florence from Argentina, Angel Gabriel Batistuta, who coincidentally played for Roma as well. Fiorentina were so good, they beat Roma 5-1 in this game. It was a beautiful football display. Moise Kean started his goal route as he got a pass from Bertrand and made it 1-0. Bertrand in the 9th minute, and then in the 17th minute, Bertrand had the chance to score a penalty, and he did. And then in the 39th minute, just when you think that Fiorentina were on the rise, yes, Kodio Kone made it 2-1, and you thought there was a comeback for Rome, but Moise Kean said, nah, not today, as he made it 3-1 in the 41st minute. Then came the second half. Bove, yes, Adil, it's a player where Yacine Adil, it's a player where it doesn't always show up, but when he shows up, it's good. Creates a very beautiful goal for Eduardo Bove to make it 4-1. And just when you think that should be enough, Matt Hummels went to score an own goal, just coming off 4 minutes after coming on for Paulo Dybala to come and at least keep the defense stable, damage control. He came in and caused more damage. Sometimes be careful who you go to for help. That's exactly how the story was in that game. But those are all the results from the weekend of matches in football. It is now up to you to tell me what you think about the matches that went down. Which one caught your ticket? Which one did it? On Sunday, also, there were games in Spain. Leganés beat Celta Vigo 3-0. Getafe and Valencia played a 1-1 draw. Real Betis beat Atletico de Madrid 1-0. So finally, Atletico Madrid have lost the game just like Real Madrid as well. Real Sociedad, yes, lost at home to Osasuna 2-0. Real Sociedad are not doing too well this season. Somebody call Sadiq Umar and tell him to shut up. Better days are coming ahead. Beyond that one, there's so many to talk about in the world of motor racing. Yes, Max Verstappen was driving like a Jaguar and he got point deduction. And so Lando Norris needs to win all the remaining 4 or 5 games, 5 races to be champions. But I still think that Max Verstappen, with his aggressive and rugged and careless, reckless driving, will still end up winning. Wow! The class of 92 are back speaking. First, it is Gary Neville. You can't be in 14th in the league after 9 games. Gary Neville pinpoints when he thinks Eric Ten Hag will be sacked, with pressure becoming unbearable after Man United lost again at West Ham. So many things are wrong in football today, and one of them is VAR review. What VAR officials were really looking at on a phone in the decision center after fans claimed they had spotted them checking fantasy football mid-match. My God, oh God, very funny things that do happen in this football world that we live in, where the fans are also becoming part of it. Well, they say Virgil van Dijk is a bully. Imperial's Virgil van Dijk reminds Liverpool what they will be missing if he leaves Anfield at the end of his contract. So do everything you can to keep him. Trent Alexander-Arnold is already leaving. Arsenal fans blast Anthony Taylor for denying them a goal with controversial last-minute decision in Ghana's dramatic draw against Liverpool. I don't know if that is controversial, but it is what it is. And funny things are happening just when we're talking about whether Eric Ten Hag will keep his job or lose his job or get fired, whatever it is. A picture surfaced as the wife of Xavi Hernandez posted a picture of their son wearing a Manchester United shirt just days after the mail revealed the club is in talks with the former Barcelona legend, the former manager of Barcelona, La Liga champion as a player and coach. Well, is that the man that comes in to solve the problem? Or probably Manchester United also need a German tonic. I don't know. You can put your comment in the comment section and tell us what you think. Please, if you have the capacity to join our team of members, please do join. We need the members team to grow. And so many other things happened in the football world of the weekend. But one of the sweetest one was seeing West Ham win against Manchester United. They say it doesn't matter where you play the game. Manchester United are more likely to lose than win. That's what they say. I'm not the one who said it. It is the words that are out there. But then Cole Palmer gave us a beauty, a Spanish-like pass from an English player who's got a cold-hearted streak of doing wonders for Chelsea. Like I said last week, and I'm going to say it again, you may not like it, you may not agree, but Enzo Maresca is going to gradually drag Chelsea into the title race. Will they win it? I don't know. I am still not convinced with Man City, but what makes Man City imperious and fearful is the fact that with the list and the catalog of players out injured, they are still able to find 3 points in every game that they play. That for me is the hallmark of champion. That's the difference between Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, and Arsenal and Arteta right now. For all those who said that Tottenham Hotspur have come back to life because they have, come on, Kina Post Office, Postino or Anja Post Office, whatever it is, Spurs would also be Spurs. If you like, go and bring Jesus of Nazareth to come coach Spurs. They will still be Spurs. They will be shitty. They are players destroyer, coaches destroyer. There is nothing good that can come out of Spurs. Spurs are not Bethlehem, so there's nothing. It's not a David and Goliath thing. And David and Goliath is only stories that are found in the Bible, not in real life. So if you put Spurs where they are, they will still be Spurs. If you like, take Spurs to the MPFL, they will still not win it because they have allergies to winning titles. And for Postecoglou, who says that he always win title in the second season, he will understand that he took the wrong job. It's the only thing that will come good for him on this job is the money. But let's jump to Timothy Dayimbo's package stories and let's see, jumping from the MPFL to the Premier League and whatever else he wants us to see. Like I always say, jump in on him on Twitter and tell him on my behalf, thank you for doing a great job. As we go out there calling out people who are doing bad, I think that we should also make it a culture to also tell people who are doing well, thank you for doing a good job. And Timothy Dayimbo on Twitter and on IG, it is at TMT_Dayimbo. Dayimbo is spelled DEHINBO. Please follow him and send him a message. Tell him that you like what he's doing for the show. Now, it's not just my show anymore. It's our show. And we must say thank you to everyone who's making it work. Okay, let's go straight. Rivers United coach Finidi George emphasized his team's commitment to staying focused despite a setback at home in their Manchester night clash against El Kanemi Warriors. Rivers United dropped their first point at home turf, ending the game in a hard-fought 1-1 draw. Both teams came into the match with unbeaten record. Rivers United had claimed 6 wins and 2 draws, while El Kanemi Warriors had secured 2 wins and 6 draws. Amazing. And then they got their 7th draw again. After the game, Coach George acknowledged that his players were a bit tense as they pushed for goals, which affected their usual rhythm. Nonetheless, it reassured fans that the team remains undistracted and fully focused on their coming fixtures against Ikorodu City FC. Well, Timothy Dembo, thank you very much for putting that one back together. One person that I know who's very happy with this draw by Rivers United is Demola Abiodun Ibrahim, a fan of Remo Stars who doesn't want to see Rivers United winning games. Well, let's hear from the slow, soft-talking Finidi George.
It was not a bad game, in general, but I think they came, played counter football, and yeah, they got that goal, From that moment, we had to step up and see how we could, get that equalizer. Second half, I think we came all out to see how we can. We defended deep, even when they were playing with one man less. They defended deep and then also tried to go on the counter. I felt we would have had a little bit of patience in the second half. While playing with one man more, we would have kept the ball a little bit more to really combine in that last third. That didn't happen. The players got a little bit nervous while trying to get the second goal. So when you have that nervousness to score a goal, sometimes it will not happen. We had a couple of chances I felt would have been good, but it was one of those days that things will not go away, to win. So we are not distracted. We will keep the focus on. We will see how we can go away and see what we can do. I always say each game as it comes. So this one is gone. We have to get the players ready for Ikorodu City.
What would it be without Finidi George saying, yes, what would it be without him trying to harmonize everything that he says, vocalizing them? Imagine I'm doing the show and I'm doing that Finidi slow. Well, it's one of those things. Everybody have their trademark and everybody's got what they know how to do. Well, for Arsenal fans, was it a 2-point loss or a 1-point gain? Actually, considering the fact that you have a makeshift defense with Magalhaes there, and then somewhere along the line he got out of the game. And once he got out of the game, I knew it was off. But then when you start making those excuses and you look at the injury list of FC Barcelona and see how they are, Jesus Christ, I'm in love with that team. Damn! You see when they played, when they moved the ball, the transition, the quick, when they want to defend. They're composed, they're 6 man in front of behind the ball defending, and when they go forward so quick, rapido. I love Barcelona right now. I love Barcelona right now. Well, let's go to one club who's not been able to score goals, but for the very first time this season they scored 2 goals, and for the very first time this season they won games back to back. Well, Manchester United was a big relief for Shooting Stars Football Club. They called the Lower Warlords or whatever they are called, but it was a big relief for Shooting Stars fans as their team celebrated a second consecutive win, marking their 3rd victory this season after struggling for much of the campaign. The team finally gave their supporters something to cheer about. They edged at Katsina United 1-0 at home on Monday and followed it up with a 2-1 win over Aqua United yesterday at the Lekan Salami Stadium. Before this match, the Stars had only scored 4 goals in their first 8 matches, 1 in 2 games. That's not too impressive, making this the first time that this season they managed to find the net twice in one game. Joshua Akpan, one of the scorers, ended his own goal drought, having gone without a goal last season. He expressed happiness at scoring again and added that the team is finally starting to gel after all their early season struggle. Let's hope that it is true. One thing I know with the Oracle, who's the Oracle now, the man Benga Agumbote, is that he always starts the season very slowly and ends strong. But how strong will they end it? That's what I don't know. Sometimes the slow start is the reason why they don't make progress. But then, if you're watching this show right now on the YouTube stream and you've not subscribed to the channel, please do what to subscribe. And please do what to click on the like button as well. Let's have fun as we go. Let's hear from Joshua Akpan.
I feel really excited and I feel really blessed. It wasn't the goal has always been on my mind to score a goal. So it wasn't an easy task, but he said thanks to. Yeah, I think how would I put it? It's a work in progress actually. There are much of new players, so it's not that easy to quickly get started at the beginning of the season. But as you can see, the guys are coming up. The team is gelling together, and by the grace of God, I hope you guys are going to see more goals from today.
But if you listen where you think that Timothy caught the first time when you want to say greetings to God, and then again, it's the Nigerian League thing, okay? But I did an interview with the legendary, iconic man, Richard Owobokiri, and he turned the interview into a preaching section. It became a church section. He's not a pastor anyway, so it was more of a interviewing a pastor than interviewing a footballer. But then there was a part of the interview that was beautiful when he talked about his work with Jose Mourinho and how Jose Mourinho changed football in Portugal. Watch out for that interview. I think it's something you will love. There are lessons to learn. I like it when I interview people and they share some things that are similar to my story, but then some things that are exponentially different. How a player who is a teenager comes all the way from Port Harcourt to Lagos, and he tells the football club that he's going to play for that local. I will go to school. Yes, St. Gregory's College, Obalende, and the club is in Surulere. So he goes to school and he goes to club. The story is beautiful. I mean, it's something you should look out for. Watch out for that story. It's something that you would enjoy. Like I said, the Chronicles of Our Legend is now becoming the niche of this channel, and we would go all out to try our best to talk to some of the legend. And I see sometimes in the comment section people say, go and interview this person. We want to do all that. That's the reason why we need more subscribers. That's the reason why we need you to sign up as members. Help us, because it requires a lot of funding, and right now we don't have enough numbers to make that happen. So any way you can help us. We promise you to give you all that. And then we're also queuing up. We're creating an interview. A man who grew up with Teslim Balogun. So everything we know about Teslim Balogun is more mythical than facts. So I want to get someone who grew up, who know Teslim Balogun, sit down with him and have a conversation. Who was Teslim Balogun? How fierce was his shot? Did he really kick a ball and the ball changed into a lion? Did he really kick a ball? Did that talk of Thunder Balogun remember your left leg? Is it really true? Or it's just a myth? Is it really fact that they went to the UK and they could not play with football boots and they used barefoot against Queen's Park Rangers players who were wearing boots? Because I play football with boots. And I'm thinking those moments back in 1940 something where they will stomp on your leg. Imagine somebody wearing boots stomping on your bare foot. Have you thought about that for a minute? But hey, it is what it is. We would see all of those stories. So your support, your push is what will encourage us to do a whole lot more. But let's continue with the news as put together by the great and hardworking, consistent Timothy Deyimo. Yes, let's go to the Emirate now and see how it is. Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta expressed pride in his team following their 2-2 draw with Liverpool on March 9. But Roy Keane does not agree with Arteta, as it feels like they have a poor and a loser's mentality. Well, I don't know what you think. Tell me what you think in the comment section while we're on this one. Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta expressed pride in his team following their 2-2 draw with Liverpool on March 9 of the Premier League. Arsenal led twice in the game with goals from Bukayo Saka and Mikel Merino, beautiful header, while Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah both scored to level things up each time. In the post-match press conference, Arteta said he was pleased with his squad's effort, especially given their current injury struggles. He praised his players for their strong first-half performance, but admitted he was disappointed to see them concede 2 goals from seemingly avoidable situations. Mikel Arteta, let's hear from you.
Yeah, very proud of the team, especially with the situation that we are going through at the moment, and probably that we cannot imagine. But overall, I think especially the first half, it was a total domination. I think we were really, really good, really sharp, really efficient, really determined, and the result probably should have been bigger. And then, without conceding nothing, basically, we gave 2 goals away, which is the disappointing part, and the fact that we could not see the game off especially looking at ourselves for two things that we didn't do particularly well, and obviously about other aspects.
This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the pathfinder for radio.
Well, that's the way one coach sees the game. And let's go to the other coach and see how he saw the game. Well, for me, I mean, I could bet my life over the weekend on Friday. I felt that Arsenal was going to lose this game. I didn't see where Arsenal were going to win this game from, but it was nice. One, to see Bukayo Saka come in and play and score was nice. That's his third or fourth goal against Liverpool. That's a nice one. I mean, with the conversation of one class going on and now off and on. But then let's go to Arne Slot and see if you think that they deserve to win or it felt like the result was good. I mean, this man has been winning 7 in 8. So you look at this game and you say momentum was on his side, should have won this game. But then let's see. But I mean, to be very honest, I thought that Arsenal did a good job with all the displacement. With all, I mean, if you say squad for squad, is Arsenal have a full squad? This is my opinion, and I might be wrong. If Arsenal have a full squad ready for this game, they will beat Liverpool. Liverpool were beat, subdued, bit ordinary, not really as effervescent as you would expect them to be. Oh, you know, grammatical. Okay, let's go to Liverpool and see where the coach sees this one from. Let's look at his periscope. Let's look from the Slot periscope and see. Liverpool head coach Arne Slot said he was happy with the point his team earned against Arsenal. Happy. Okay. In the post-match press conference after the 2-2 draw, he noted how impressive it was to see his players fight back twice, especially on Arsenal's own turf. Slot praised their determination in the second half, saying it was great to see the team push hard after going down 2-1 in the first half. Well, it means that Arsenal did something great, because when you're happy to get a draw, it means that the other team did well. Let's hear from Slot.
Going 2 times behind against a very strong and good Arsenal team, then to get a point is pleasing to see, especially because we had to play an away game in Europe this week. We had 1 day less to recover and to prepare, and then to go 2 times behind with the fans being so loud, and us coming back so strong the second half, because I think we deserve to be 2-1 down or 1 goal down at halftime. Then it's very pleasing to see that we had the energy and that we were so strong to fight ourselves back in the game, the second half. Also because the ones that came in did really good, but also that we were physically really strong today.
Let's go! This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the best in entertainment and sports. Let's go!
Well, for me, not that the result, I'm not here to cry about the result, but please, can somebody explain to me why Kai Havertz goal was disallowed? I don't know what the offside is again, but it is the Premier League. These things happen, so let's pretend like it's the script that was written. Arsenal is going to be the scapegoat this season. They are not giving them red card. They are disallowing goals that should be goal. Well, whatever it is, Arsenal did give a good account of themselves in this game. Well, let's go to West Ham and talk to one man who's been taking the beating for losing matches, conceding goals that go out of fashion, and all of a sudden find a way to win. I think that penalty was dubious as far as I'm concerned, but hey, anything that make Manchester United lose is very good. But I mean, if we celebrate that West Ham won with a dubious penalty, we shouldn't be angry when a dubious call is made against us. So for me, I think that penalty was a dubious one. That game should have ended 1-1. But on the strength of chances created, Manchester United should have won that game 6-5 goes to whatever. That game should have been put to bed since morning. But then Manchester United is Man United. Anything that is controlled by the devil is always like that. West Ham head coach Julian Lopetegui felt his team fully earned their 2-1. Oga, you the lie. Uncle, you can lie there. That's a lie. Don't be talking like that. No. Don't be talking like that. No, it's not good. West Ham head coach Julian Lopetegui felt his team fully earned their 2-1 victory over Manchester United, despite some controversy surrounding a late penalty. Speaking after the match, Lopetegui highlighted his team's impressive second half performance. I agree, they were better in the second half, which he believes sealed the win. He pushed back on Eric Ten Hag's remark that the better team lost, noting that while United controlled much of the first half, West Ham's adjustments after the break turned the turned the game in their favor, proving they deserve the 3 points. Now, from this perspective, I might have to agree, but still that penalty was dubious, like it or not. Having said that, though, Manchester United should have buried this game and we've forgotten the position of the grave in the first half. I don't know if you guys agree with me if you're Man United fans here, but that's the way I feel and the way I think. Let's hear from Julian Lopetegui.
I respect his opinion, but I think that there have been two different halves. The first half, I know that they were better, but the second half we changed. I think that we were better in the second half and we deserved to win the second half. So fortunately we didn't suffer a goal in the first half. It's true that they had chances. That's why we changed a lot in the half. And in the second half, I think that we were better than them.
And that's all, folks. It's Elegbetter TV Radio. Follow us on social media at Elegbetter TV Radio. My name is Frank Idemudia Alapa. That's my name. Talking sports is my game, and I am the greatest. I love listening to Elegbetter TV Radio. For undiluted, unadulterated, it's probably replicated but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Elegbetter TV Radio. I seriously love listening to it.
Well, first off, before we discuss anything, let me say a massive thank you to everybody who have contributed to the kind of massive views that have come up on the Etimerson interview. I wasn't expecting that much. I told my producer when we did it that, okay, well, it's done in a very good ambience environment and he's a good narrator. What I like about the Etimerson interview is that he didn't go out there trying to put up the God complex or try to blame anybody. He took responsibility for all of his misdeeds, all of his mistakes. He owned up, and when he suggested advice, but you could see that it was all about himself. Like, I made a mistake, I did wrong here, I did this wrong, I did that, blamed himself. And not too many people, footballers especially, footballers are never wrong. And then again, if you're a Nigerian, Nigerians are trained not to take responsibility for anything, right? We either blame the devil for what is wrong and credit God for what is right, but we're never involved in anything. But for him to do that was very good for me. I was doing that interview, I was learning, and I've gone back to watch it over and over. That's what I do anyway. I just go back and what did I miss in this interview? What did I not ask? What did I not do? And then some things I just deliberately not ask them. Let's leave this one. Let's not make it. So one thing about the interview that a lot of people don't know, I've seen people are doing interview, but why didn't you ask this question? Listen, the people you are interviewing know when you want to tell their story and when you are on a fishing expedition, when you just want to embarrass them, when you just want to put them to shame and hand them dry. That's not what this channel is about. Even though that would be good to make us go viral, those kind of things, but I always put myself in the position of the subject that we're interviewing. I'll be like, okay, if somebody was asking me this type of question, let me give you a very good example. When I left Brilla in 2017, it's like there was a barrier. 29 different media came to interview me, and at the time, everybody was looking for. They were not really concerned about me. They just want that umbrella. Like, okay, what's the scandal? What's the scandal that can pop up? And I remember telling one of them that, listen, your boss asked you to come interview me. Your boss is like this with Larry Zamoje. Larry Zamoje is shit, yes, but it shouldn't be coming from his best friend, right? So as much as we want to have this conversation, I'm not ready now. When I'm ready, I'll talk. And I'm building a platform where I can talk. So I don't really care because, again, I put a few posts on social media at the time, and I remember everybody was like, hey, shut up, you're a bad loser, you're just being sore, you're complaining. I like the reaction of a lot of people. I remember then George Essien, my colleague that was kicked out, wrote on Twitter and said, can I not just keep quiet and move on? I said, wow. Fine. I saw George Essien tweet recently and he talked about, I said, hey, life is so sweet, man. Life is so interesting. I say all the people that are complaining now, like, okay, I thought I was the one that was That was the bad guy. But hey, let's have some fun. Let's do this show the way we normally do. You know, first half is mine and the second half is yours. So, what went through your eyeball over the weekend that we did not see that you want to share with us? Let's get it. And again, it's Monday. Like I always say, it's Business Monday. Before I read anything from your tweet, let me tell you this. So, in the days of our fathers and their fathers, it was communal living but individual hustle. What do I mean by that? Your job as a man is to work hard, feed your wife or wives and children. Not so much for taking care of other people, not so much for relying on other people, because the harvest was actually truly plenty, but the laborers were few. Today, the harvest is very small, but the laborers are many. If we work individually, all of us would die in poverty. And I'm saying it, especially in my industry is the worst. I'm saying it in my industry because people are greedy. People want to be front of the line. Somebody wants to be cameraman, videographer, editor, not because they are managing, but just because they want to be self-aggrandized. Why am I speaking so many baby grammar today? Okay, so, but this is just an advice that I want to put out there, and it's because I belong to a group that have Dangote, Femi Tedola, Alibaba, some of these big guys. The UBA guy, what's his name now? That UBA guy, the Harvey Foundation, Ilibelu, and all these other guys in Mokwede, all these guys. That guy that died in helicopter crash in the US. All of these guys. But one of the things that I noticed, I'm just in the group soaking up knowledge. I every once in a while, I just put in one comment here, say one thing that I researched, but I don't think I'm in their league. So I'm just on my own. I'm the next generation of their league, but I'm not in their league right now. And one of the things that I learned, and from other people too, from a group that David also put me, is that collaboration is really key. So this is one advice that I would say to people, the young people especially, not people my age or people older than me. I need the advice now, and I don't get enough wisdom to decide on a life. Young people, this is what I'm going to tell you. If you don't like to read book, because a lot of people say they don't like to read book, but you're on WhatsApp have AI. Anything that is your dream. One of the mistakes that people make, even mostly my generation, was that people try to make friends with people who are like them. You're not gonna be successful in that kind of friendship circle. People who are like you, people who have strength where you have strength, people who are going exactly where you're going, who are chasing what you're chasing. Somewhere along the line, you will become enemies. That's why we had that kind of situation in Nigeria or in the black race where almost everybody are beefing each other, right? So this is what I think. This is my opinion. If I'm wrong, also correct me. They were a community, so it's not like one man knows it all. This is what I think. Look for friends, people who have strength where you're weak. Yes, and then try to give them reason to like you because you have strength where they're also weak and want to build with you. Having said that, if you cannot read book for now, you don't know what book to read, type on AI. That AI on your WhatsApp. Every day, make sure you read maybe 3 or 4 topics regarding the dream that you have. Okay, I want to be the best shoe cobbler. The best shoe cobbler in 10 years' time. 10 years' time is not when you need to know about shoe cobbling. Now is the time. Okay, read about how to make shoe. 1. How to make shoes that stand out. 2. How to sell shoes when you make them. What types of shoe would young generation be wearing? Because most time, one of the biggest problem we create for ourselves is that we do business and we sell for ourselves and the older people. When the business is not right, those older people that want to settle, they are all dead. The younger generation, and that's the smartness of what's his name? Yeezy, Kanye West. Kanye West designed for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And it was easy for them to buy. He designed shoes and clothes for a generation that is desiring to emulate mad people, and he made money from it. Somebody said that Look for something that people want desperately, no questions asked, and you will make money off it. The future is not a future for individualism. The future is a future for people who are willing to collaborate. It's a Monday, that's why we're talking business. So always remember that as you grow, as you do whatever business, enterprise, whatever career you're choosing, collaboration will take you further than individualism. You can be brilliant, you can be smart, you can be very intelligent, smartest guy in the room, but you need a team to push you far. Kevin Hart said it, he's the guy who's funny, but it is his team that has taken him as far as he can go, because the more successful you are, sometimes the lesser opportunity to hear from the people you get. And these guys are regular guys. They hear and they come back and give them feedback. Also, make sure you're a kind of person who is accountable, because people like people who are accountable. People don't like somebody who is not accountable, people that they cannot question. All right, always remember that. Having said that, let's come to the comment section. Habib Ayodeji, who should be sleeping in Indiana, still committed time to be here. I hope that we would have you today on the views from the stand later today. But having said that, he said today is the day the Lord has made. The day 10 Attilo Guhag gets sacked. I hope he gets sacked. But I think he should stay for a few more. He should stay for the whole of November and probably get sacked in December, so that we know that Manchester United are out of the conversation. They are still in the conversation right now for top 4, even though they're in 14th. So there's 4 in the 14th. So they're still there until let them go to number 20, sit down there, and then they say, everything, bye-bye. Kalija Ibrahim Adewale is the happiest man in the world right now. He's an FC Barcelona fan. It was rude enough to say that Robert Lewandowski didn't do well. It was wasteful. Okay, he said good morning from the Wonder Kids of FC Barcelona. It was a wonderful weekend for all Barca fans worldwide. Lucky Ogale said good morning, and everybody. El Clasico was the best game of the weekend. Casado was glorious. Man United were robbed of their usual draw. Lukman is undeniably the best. Kalija Ibrahim Adewale says Barcelona is really missing that Mark Bannell in that midfield. Wish he was available for this Clasico. Well, for me, I think FC Barcelona played El Clasico, but Real Madrid played Offside Clasico. That's far as I'm concerned, because 8 offside in one game for Mbappe, that should stand on the pyramid. You know, I mean, for a fast player, I think that the rule of being fast, because I was fast in my day, the rule of being fast is that give the defender a bit of a gap, 1 step gap. Let him be ahead of you by 1 step, because you know that once the ball starts moving, you are running. That's not the turning Henry style on Gary Bale. Give them 1 step ahead. No, just look them like they mark me, don't worry. I know I cannot run you, so I'm not afraid. Tell your teammate, put the ball. I will still get the ball before him. But maybe the occasion overriding me. You know, one thing is to hear about El Clasico, another thing is to play in El Clasico, and then you now realize that, oh God, it's not so easy. It's not easy. Olafat says, good morning, boss. I feel Arsenal are now against the poor officiating, not just the opponent they face. Now the whole world is saying it. With the number of injuries, Liverpool still find it hard. Lucky Ogale say Arsenal versus Liverpool, Anthony Taylor was the man of the match. Saka might not be what best, but he is good at what he does. I agree with you on that one. Martinelli and Cruz could raise their game to match his. Might help the Arsenal. Aljai Ibrahim, I think this is the most comment you have submitted in the show. You say Inaki Pena, in case you don't know who Inaki Pena is, that's the goalkeeper of FC Barcelona. Bassi and Martinez, those are the 2 centre-back, are my players of the match. That defense was so compact and organized. Lord Mayor says Salah need Timber to leave before he could show up. I agree with you on that one as well. Tamiyu Temitaya says Arsenal is holding on even in tough time. Hopefully, I will be hopeful for the title if by Christmas Arsenal still hold their ground in the top 3 within the current margin. Arteta did well yesterday. I cannot argue against your position on this one. I think that one of Arteta's best game tactically was the game yesterday, because if you look at the way the defense I mean, Timbers collapsed, went out. Gabriel Magalhaes went out before Liverpool begin to find their feet. You can't complain. You can't blame any coach for that one. There's no coach who sets out to say, you know what, my players are going to get injured, and then I'm going to, now bring in makeshift players, Skelly or whatever his name was. So for me, I think Arsenal did well. On any other day, any other team who suffered this type of injury, maybe Arsenal would have run there. Liverpool were still struggling, were still scared. Maybe Arsenal have gotten to that place where Liverpool is not scared of them. Let me say, proud of the Arsenal boys, much football to play for before I will talk of the race, the title race. Lord Mayor says nobody is talking how City is scrapping at wins. If they don't improve, it will sure come to beat them. But then you look at it, look at a team that doesn't have Grealish, that doesn't have Kevin De Bruyne, that doesn't have quite a few of their players are missing as well, because that's the excuse that Arsenal have. In their own case, they are scrapping wins. In Arsenal's case, they are not. These two teams were toe-to-toe last season. So that's another... You see this argument that you just brought is the argument that makes us attack Bukayo Saka in world class. You cannot sit in one hand to praise Arsenal for scrapping draws, in games because they have injuries. And then you forget that Man City also have their own injuries to key players of their team. And they are struggling, to get them to play. And in that struggle, they are winning. Now you are saying, you're predicting that will make them lose. But for Arsenal, the fact that they are struggling to get draws when their players come back, you're not thinking of the key players. Do you know what it means to miss Kevin De Bruyne's prime Kevin De Bruyne in your team? You know how many passes, how many goals he will create? Is there sitting up there watching? You think that's what he wants to do? You know what it means to have Grealish being able, it's not world class, it's not a great player, but being able to bring him on to win those fouls, to coin the referees and get all those extra advantages, run behind the defenders. Those are some things also you should understand. You know what it means to have the stability that Rodri brings to that midfield. All of those should. That's why I say some people are not objective when they analyze football. When I start this thing, no. You can't find good in Arsenal scrapping result, but you find bad in Man City scrapping result. There's no balance in it. That lack of consistency is what I always talk about, Lord Mayor. Temita says Arsenal is proving to be unbeatable with 11 men. No matter the team in England, I expected Liverpool to kill that game in the last 15 minutes, but it didn't happen. I wish the lad quick recovery. Lord Mayor says good weekend for the right winger, Saka, Yamal, Palmer, Bowen, Salah. Temita says City, now landlord, the squad depth and quality of that team is different from the rest. They have enough in tank to hold on, except they find themselves in Arsenal situation. Do being champions still. 69 football, say Barca excellent. Good to see Chelsea gather the points. You see a qualification did great. Chelsea as expected. Liverpool disappoint. Man City cruise. Barca on rampage. Fiorentina, Napoli, Lazio, PSV, Eindhoven, Ajax, Benfica. All the team waiting for a spot. He bet ticket in the console. Sporting on cruise. What a lovely weekend of football. Hey, Kalajai, you need to send me money now. You need to send this. For this team. This boy don't play bet this weekend. There's nobody that is going to convince me. He don't play bet this weekend. For all the plenty comments on a Monday, no, you don't play bet. You don't win bet. Kalija Ibrahim says, Man United, Tottenham, Roma, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, all are having issues. Ola Matthew says, Manchester United problem is beyond the coach. Let's start with the coach. Every time is beyond the coach, is beyond the coach. Let's start with the coach. Let's start with the coach. This coach is rubbish. Let's start with some basic things. When Rashford wasn't playing well, he would not substitute him. He would not bench him. Now he started finding his rhythm. All of a sudden, he doesn't play him. He doesn't start. He doesn't give him regular playing time. That's a problem. Again, when your team is creating chances and they are not doing well, there's something wrong. And say, to be very, very fair to him as well, you don't teach strikers how to score, but you teach them how to make their run. You teach them how to be calm. The interview that I did, when you watch it, you will understand. You teach your strikers how to be calm, and pressure makes strikers play badly. So the calmness, the cool-headedness of your striker is very, very key, because that's what is missing in Manchester United. And I know that Ruud van Nistelrooy, they teach striker how to score goal. Nobody teaches a striker how to score goals. Early strikers score goals because they are calm, they are in a sane environment. Strikers are like creatives. Creatives struggle when there is noise, not environmental noise in their head. When there's noise in their head, everything goes out. But when they have a calm head, you can blast them. That's why we all look like mad people. But that's what creativity is about. So for strikers, I think that he should find a way to calm the nerves of his strikers, and get them to bury the ball into the net. But if he continues like this and then he thinks that he's going to be the champion of the press conference, well, we shall see at the end of the day. Olamati says the Manchester United problem is beyond the coach. Though ETH has not been performing well, the board needs a lot of reshuffling. Kudos to my team, Barcelona. They did excellent well over the weekend. The board of Manchester United have done all the reshuffling. This guy spent 600 million. 600 million. That's what he spent. And he's won 2 cups, he's won the League Cup, he's won the FA Cup. But 600 million, and Manchester United are in 14th. Okay, after 9 games. I love to say big moments decide big games, but Mbappe couldn't make use of his as he missed those chances to put Real Madrid back in the game. Those chances affected them. Why is Jude Bellingham a shadow of the guy that we saw last season? What's going on? Is it time for Ancelotti to go? So I want to imagine Rankade is out. He says, Baba Money, truly the best stuff that happened to me this weekend was seeing the thought of my enemies didn't prevail over my darling Arsenal. Slot machine isn't having efficiency they brag about. Olafat says the hype surrounding Eddie Howe has cooled off. Last season they said it was injury, but no injuries to complain to English coaches and media hype. Are 5 and 6. I told you guys Eddie Howe is not good. He can't take Newcastle. You see, one Spanish or Italian or German coach will come and take this Newcastle and they'll be challenging for title. This same squad, even lesser than these players. But for as long as it is an English man, forget it. English people don't know how to coach. If not coaching, they know sabi. Lucky Gale say for Arsenal, it was a lost 2 point, considering that they considered 2 easy goals. Martinelli should be playing for Las Palmas. He cannot progress the ball to save his life. Was scared of Konate. I don't think he was scared of Konate. Konate was very good. This season, Liverpool considered only 3 goals before this game in a total of 8 games. And then in this game, they considered 2 goals. And then look at the midfield that Arsenal have. White players excel with the kind of midfield they have. Take away the creative in the midfield, and the white players are dead. And you see, the thing about, let me tell you something about, because I played white, I know that double padding is always difficult. So if you don't have a midfielder that can really carve open the space for you, 1, and 2, a striker. Remember that Liverpool did not have a striker that they were marking. Kai Havertz was all over the place. There was no striker that they were marking to say, okay, watch him or watch that guy. So it draws maybe Virgil van Dijk or Konate. So they were easy. It was easy for them to go to the side and block the channel, which was, for me, which is the problem with Arsenal. There's no focal point where you can say, okay, somebody's afraid of this guy. Like you are afraid of Haaland when he's in the field. He's not touching the ball much, but what betide you to give him the free space to just be on its own. So that's the thing with Arsenal. But now people make it look like it's a Kai Havertz thing. After Bukayo Saka scored that goal, what else happened again? They just, they scored that goal. There was a mistake from that defense side. After that, they double padded him, and it was nowhere to be found all through. That's the thing you must ask yourself. Why is that happening? If for 90 minutes you depend on one mistake to score, which is not a bad thing. I'm not watering Saka goes down. I'm just telling you why you shouldn't, ship Martinelli to Las Palmas. The thing is, Arsenal does not have somebody in the pyramid that the fans are afraid of. It happened in Bournemouth. It happened against the other team, that Brighton. That there is no arrow that makes the center back of the opposition afraid. So you give them room to say, you know what, let's block the channel. This is where they're going to come from. Make sure they don't penetrate. So it's also something to look at from a tactical point of view before you start blaming the player. That's my own opinion. I don't think Martinelli is a problem. I think Martinelli is a very good player. He just doesn't have the kind of support that he needs to make it happen. So I don't understand what happened at Madrid. Kylian is still adapting to La Liga. I think Lookman is an underrated footballer in the world of football. The guy was on a Ballon d'Or form. I don't understand what you mean by he's underrated. He's going to win the African Footballer of the Year award. He's on the team of the season from the AFCON. Is nominated in the Ballon d'Or award as well. I think today is the award day, if I'm not mistaken. When you say underrated, what do you mean by underrated? He's playing for Atalanta, for Christ's sake. And he's getting all this attention. When's the last time a player in Atalanta gets all this attention anywhere in football? I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong choice of word. He's being given the attention that he deserves. Now, if he doesn't have a team that puts him out there on his own, that's his business. But he's playing for a modest club who doesn't have a budget for promotion and the rest. So that's not him being underrated. As a matter of fact, he's getting the hype that he deserves. There are other players doing exactly what he's doing somewhere else that nobody is even talking about, even for clubs that are bigger than his club. So I don't think he's underrated. You're only saying this right now because he's a Nigerian player. Additional Abuma says, I enjoyed the show this weekend. This weekend was fire. Batman says, I won't lie, I miss the presence of Thomas Partey in midfield, but the team did well. Chuks Adigwe, my brother all the way from Dubai, he said Roy Kane should focus on his Dali club and ETH. Adigwe says Saka always bring something different to this Arsenal team. With Arteta playing a fast one on us, nobody expected that Saka and Timber in that starting lineup. Okay, I agree with that one. Someone Babajide says, Baba, that Arsenal match, what is the offside in that Saka's goal? This referees just put Arsenal in front, but God past them. Lot Mayor says the league is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So much football to be played for 29 games. More is a lot. Alafat says the problem of Man United isn't ETH. Really? Let's just look at the Dalot chance. My grandmother will score that chance. So ETA still needs more players, so they should back in more. Okay, that's you being sarcastic, actually. Sebastian Inede says it is definitely a 2-point drop for Arsenal. For the third time this season, Arsenal drop point from a winning position. That is a mentality issue which Arteta needs to address ASAP. I disagree completely here. There is nothing to address, and there is nothing like mentality issue. You are using this thing you just said is what I call herd mentality. First off, Arsenal played a Liverpool team that is on a roll. A Liverpool team that hardly concede goals. An Arsenal team that you cannot even, Arsenal fans themselves cannot predict who is going to be the starting 11. Arsenal started this with a makeshift defense. I can't remember the last time Ben White played as centre-back alongside Magalhaes. And then I can also remember the last time Arsenal played without Saliba on the side. And then you're bringing back Geraint Timbers from injury. You know, it needs time to warm into the game. And then you play that game the way you do. You took a center midfielder and put that one on right fullback. And then you still played the way you played to the point where you're leading 2-1 at halftime. And Liverpool. This is Liverpool we're talking about. Before this weekend, we're table toppers. Before this weekend, I've only lost one game. Don't drop points. Don't seem to have a problem adapting to a new coach. And then they got a draw. That's not a mentality thing. If Timbers did not get injured, Magalhaes did not get injured, Arsenal would have won that game quite easily, because up until then, that Liverpool team was bad. Liverpool cannot put Skelly in their defense and hope to win a match. Arsenal does not have one creative midfielder in their team, so it's not a mentality thing. When I learned how to be a football analyst in Hamburg, I was told that you must judge everything on their individual merit. All these mumbling up things together and then finding sequence. No. Against Man City, Arsenal was one man down. And they head up that game to the very end. That is mentality. Against a team that does not lose to anybody. Against a team that will tear you apart. Against the champions of the league 4 times consecutively. The other time they dropped point, they were one man down again. That was against Brighton. They were one man down. The game against Bournemouth was a bad day in the office, a terrible day in the office. I've got nothing. This game, I do not see it as 2-point loss. Going into this game on Friday, we're talking about it. There is no Arsenal fan that could say, not even you, could say Arsenal will win. Everybody was going for a draw. They now got the draw and lost players due to injuries and have a goal that could have stood in other time, disallowed in the very end of the game, and you still think it's a mentality thing. Come on, Arsenal are fighting so many battles here. They're fighting injury battles, fighting against referees and VAR, and you think it's a mentality thing. Listen, if I've played in games where I know that no matter what we play, we're not going to win. Basically, as of Boko in Boko versus Sharks of Port Harcourt. We played that game for 10 years. Referee was telling us on the field, would you rather play this ball, lose, and go home, or would you rather want to win or draw and die here? Inside the field. That's not the kind of game you want to win. You know that game you're not going to win. Or we'll go to Maiduguri to go and play against Academy Warriors. How you want to get point there? From the town to the stadium is 2 hours drive. No house, no building. Bush. From the last building you will see in town at the time in the 90s to the stadium, it's 2 hours of bush. They'll beat you, they'll kill you, nothing will happen. But I'm just telling you that sometimes it is easy to see football from outside and have all these opinions about mentality. What's mentality? Mentality is me and you playing for 90 minutes, you have your chance, I have my chance, I take my chance. So it's mentality that made Madrid to lose 4-0 at home to Barcelona. It's not mentality. Sometimes the game just doesn't go the way you script it, the way you plan it. And then once injury comes in football, all better off. If your substitutions are not tactical, but injury based, or better off. So you don't analyze it and say, oh, it's a mentality. How can that be mentality? Have you ever seen an Arsenal game where the substitutions are made like this? So I disagree with you on that one completely. Let me say, I feel Timber for forced to play this game. I think what you want to say is I feel Timber was forced to play this game because of Salah. We will be out again for Arsenal next game. Olafat says that we don't even need to have the full squad. If Timber and Gabriel played 90 minutes, Liverpool would have considered more or the game finishes 2-1. I agree with you on that one. Let me say Mbappe 8 offside is Air Clasico. In Air Clasico should be a record. I think so too. Where did I stop now? I've got a lot to read today. Ooh, Jesus. I never read all these ones. Okay. The line Raji says the game ought to have been killed off in the first half by Man United, but then again, it's a 90 minutes game, so the better team overall won. Oluwaseyi Adebowale says the way ETH has been escaping the sack for a long time, don't be surprised United will beat Chelsea to buy him more time. This Chelsea, only for him to then lose in the next 2 games. We shall see. Demola Benny Brian said Remo Stars should have gotten a draw against Atlanta, but I still believe we can do it. Rivers United 2 drop points, so it's balanced. Demola Benny Brian said I still don't know why the Jesus goal was removed. It's EPL referee versus Arsenal this season. Kalijayi Ibrahim Adewale says Monday motivation, don't watch the clock, do what it does, keep going. Demola Abiodun Ibrahim says I won't put this United loss to ETH. Maybe those players want him sacked because there are too many chances to kill the game. Okay, Arsenal really give it a good fight considering they are forced to make injury sub in the game. 2, but I thought they won it with the late goal, but EPL referee do the normal on them. Demola Brian went on to say United were robbed with that penalty given to West Ham. Do I think so? Yami Dynamite says, Uncle E, my own is, will City suffer a bump along this 38-week journey, or the bump is just for others? I mean, it's football. It can happen. It might not happen. Adedeji Olajumoke says, man, Mr. Idafe, you're really good. This, your show is giving me joy. Thank you very much. I feel excited about that. Lucky Ogale says, Nigerian players in Europe had a good weekend too. Yes, Yemi Dynamite says, also, why are the EPL referees centering themselves in every key fixtures of the week? Kudos to the Arsenal players and Arteta. I was proud of their outing despite not expecting much from them. Noso Ibanga says Enyimba once again showed why they are a big team in the land when Ikorodu City thought they smashed a point on the road after the 89th minute goal, but the People's Elephant had a different idea. Champions are made at the end of games, not at the beginning or in the 89th minute. That's what Monday Sinclair used to say. Temola Adeola Brian says, I love Pedri, man. The guy is good. Very, very good player. Another player that people don't talk a lot about. If he was a Nigerian, somebody will be here telling us that he's underrated. Nancy Baga says, I love the MPFL. We do love the MPFL all together. Precious Iriwa says, Saka do Robertson dirty for that is good. Man, the control and the shuffle. Damn. Okay, Saka, and then the roofing. The goalkeeper, can't wait. He thought probably he was going to do a call out, man. Niggas sent him a nuclear shot, man. Oh, went in well. If anybody's seen that movie on Prime, what's the title now? It's a movie on Prime that I saw last night. I've forgotten the title. Oh, God. Okay, let's move on. Let's not talk about movie. Maybe tomorrow. Tosi Lomade says, good morning, fans. Good morning to you. It was a very nice weekend for some and painful for some. Hope you remember I told you last week either Arsenal wins or score draw. Liverpool have not been exceptional this season. You see, when we say these things, I think you should have ended this your comment on score draw, and it would have made sense. When you say Liverpool have not been exceptional this season, they are up there in the Champions League. They were top of the Premier League this season. Who is more exceptional than them in the Premier League this season? They've only lost one game in the Premier League this season. They've considered, before this game, they've considered 2 goals. They are not exceptional. What's your definition of exceptional? Because I think that either English language is a problem or the usage of English language is the problem. How do you define exceptional? You think it's about jumping around doing gymnastics on the field? That's exceptional. Exceptional is getting the job done. And Liverpool have been getting the job done so far. Liverpool, with this draw that you're calling them not exceptional, are about 4 points or so above Arsenal. Your Arsenal is Arsenal. Have Arsenal been exceptional as well? This is a club with a new coach that did only one signing that have not played any game for them this season, or probably maybe play 1 or 2 games, with few minutes, and you say they are not exceptional. Your choice of language is bad. Your analysis, maybe the first part of it was good, just a reminder of what you said last week, but then your ending part, man, shut up. You talk rubbish. So what about you that says, when would the referees have to own up to their mistakes and be penalized for their mistakes? When I was growing up, somebody said engineers will be buried by their mistake. If you're doing a construction work and you don't do it well, it will collapse on you. Doctors bury their own mistakes, and doctors and referees are the same. They will kill you and bury you and still collect money. Referees are the same. Nobody touch them. Nobody penalize them. They just get going. See the corner in our favor, and is still carded Ghebreyesus in front of the linesman. Demola Adeola say, I love the consistency in Partey this season. No injury, just doing his thing, even when played in right back. Oluwaseyi Adebowale says, as a player, is there a tactic to beating an offside trap? If yes, how come the world-class Mbappe couldn't do it? Is it that the Barca defenders were too perfect, or just a bad game for him? So let's analyze that a little bit. There were so many things that were wrong. I mean, this thing that I'm saying, if you were in the Elevated TV family WhatsApp group, we won't have to discuss it, because Precious Omosuwe did justice to it. Let me see if I can find it and put it on play, if I can find it. So first off, Real Madrid, the exit of Toni Kroos in this game showed the fact that he wasn't, playing for, he had retired, early retirement showed. Mbappe had midfielders who were not ball passers. They were ball breakers. The player who could have said, okay, you know what, let me sacrifice my ambition for wanting to be star boy and play through the midfield, was supposed to be Jude Bellingham. But Jude Bellingham was going as far forward as Vinicius Jr. as well as Kylian Mbappe, because it was more of a front 2-3. When I say front 2-3, means Vini and Mbappe and then probably Jude Bellingham, who's trying to join them, seeking individual glory than playing for the team. That's one of the problems. Again, a player is played onside or offside based on the timing of the guy who releases the ball. So if I am running, I'm a fast player and I'm running, you should know intelligently, intuitively that I am faster than this defense. So put the ball ahead and I'll catch the ball. But when you keep delaying that ball because you don't know how to control the tempo of the game, then it becomes a problem. That's one side on the Madrid side. On the Barcelona side, you see 2 goals that Barcelona scored. Madrid defenders were trying to keep offside, but the trap sprung on them because one man was lagging behind. But when you see the Barcelona team, you could see a synchronized unit of a team, and they kept a very high line. I mean, people were complaining about the high line, but that high line was the magic for Barcelona, because what the game plan for Madrid is that Barcelona will sit back, then there will be now a gap between Barcelona midfield and their defense, and then that is the space that Vini, Mbappe, Jude Bellingham will exploit. But what the Barcelona defense did was to close it. So this is there's supposed to be a gap like this. In this middle is where they operate. I wish I have a board. It's where they operate. But they closed it, they sandwiched it like this and created a shawarma where everything is just muddled there. When they get the ball, they press hard. They know when to pick up. Now, Madrid attackers and Madrid midfielder were not sandwiched in this place. So they were the hot dog, the cabbage, the mayonnaise, the spices and everything, the chicken and the beef inside that shawarma close range, because Barcelona refused, the defenders refused to go back, and then the midfielders also refused to go too further forward, because they knew that we will create a counter-attacking chances and it is up to us to take our chances. So probably you could see the second goal that Lewandowski scored. Any other time, any other team, they will still want to do a 1-2 pass, move forward. But you see the pinpoint accuracy of that cross, something that Moses Simon or Chukwueze or all of these guys playing for the Super Eagles miss when they play for Nigeria. So you could tell that they have a game plan that says, you know what, for as long as they don't have time to think on the ball in midfield, they will make mistake. And Barcelona counted on that, and it worked for them. Any other time, maybe that timing of the runs would have been perfect and it would be good. So going back to your question, attackers are supposed to time their run, but when you're fast, when you are fleet-footed, sometimes the timing of your run is predicated by the guy who's sending the pass, and sometimes timing of your run means put the ball ahead. But once the midfielder does not have confidence, and that's where I spare Mbappe, like, okay, you know what, he's just coming, he's just playing with this team, they still don't understand him yet. Because let me give you a good example. If you're used to playing with Kanu Nwankwo, for instance, you used to play with Kanu Nwankwo, and they go and sign Tijani Babangida for you as a midfielder, the first 6 or 7 months you would struggle. First season you would struggle, because with Kanu Nwankwo, you know that he always wants the ball on his leg. Because you can't put the ball on the run. Kanu Nwankwo, his leg might be long, but it's not going to run. He's not going to make a run for it. He's a giraffe. It's not a cheetah. Tijani Babangida is a cheetah, but you're not used to putting the ball over there. So you see Tijani Babangida always running off, and then probably you put the ball behind him, or, you're confused. But after 1 year, all things working together, coming around, you will not be able to give them. So for the banter, if this show was a banter show, we would go with this your comment and we'll just, jump on it and say, oh, this is how it is. But not, to be very honest, that's not how it is. There is a whole lot element coming together to make it happen. And remember, Madrid have not lost a game this season until that game. So it's the day where everything came together for Barcelona, who's had 2 seasons of them playing together. Rafinha was this bad last season, and people were saying return him to Leeds. Arsenal dodged the bullet. That same Rafinha now, you'll be looking at him and like, whoa, this guy is chasing Vinicius, right? So you will still need to give Mbappe some chance. It's just that it's that thing about the word when I said, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, everybody wants you to be successful until you really begin to be successful, and everybody wants to see you fail. Right now, everybody who's a football fan, pundit, analyst wants to see Mbappe fail. Like, oh, they want to prove he's not all that. He's not even good. He's just lucky. He just play for Paris Saint-Germain. That's what everybody wants to say. That is not the truth. Mbappe is a world-class top performer, just playing in a team that everything have not come together. It's going to take some time. Let's be patient with them. This is not enough to banter Mbappe or banter Real Madrid. They're the defending champions of the La Liga. They're still one of the best teams in the world. They are still a super solid side. We saw them against Borussia Dortmund, even though Borussia Dortmund are a very terrible team right now. And we saw the comeback. It was beautiful. So it's too early to now say, oh, as big as he is, as good as he is. Come on, calm down, calm down. Okay, it's not about tactics. It's just about a bad day in the office. Things not going well, and everybody should just relax. Kenneth Madrid Maxi says, Edafe, please, what do you really think about Kylian Mbappe and the Real Madrid team in general? I just done that full analysis. Give it time. Naso Ibanga says, my crazy self did enjoy all the revelation that came through on X over the weekend. Was all about the slave master taken to the cleaners. See, while all that revelation is good, don't get carried away, and me included in this talk that I'm saying. Don't get carried away. The slave master have done is slave mastering. Injured people are the ones coming out. But observe carefully with a keen eye. Most of the people who are talking now are not going to become masters, are not going to become owners of content creation, channels or shows on radio. Observe how they will treat the people working for them. It's very, very key. So we don't. I'm not holding brief for Larry Zamoje, but I'm saying that we don't crucify him and create another one. Okay, there was a king before Nebuchadnezzar, and there was a king after Nebuchadnezzar. There's always that tendency to create a demon while ostracizing one demon. So we should hold ourselves accountable, because I know people who went to go set up their own business who did worse than Larry Zamoje. Some of the people who are complaining right now, were the demons that they were using to torment us when we're dead. Right? So try and understand this thing I'm saying. We should not just crucify that one without understanding a pattern here, that this is a pattern. Also, we should try and be accountable, including me as Edafe. Watch me carefully too. When I start derailing, when I start doing the things that I'm not supposed to do, call me out pretty early. It's important. I'm saying it's good to enjoy the calling out, but don't build more monsters, because the thing with building a monster is that when they already become a monster, it's almost impossible to tame them. That's just the way I say it. That's my opinion anyway. Oluwaseyi Adebowale said Jose Mourinho is to Newcastle is inevitable, but he said he doesn't want to play in a team. He doesn't want to coach in a team that is playing in Europe. He wants to coach a lower team and just enjoy himself. Retirement coaching, that's what he wants now. Olava says that Derby d'Italia was the game of the weekend. I swear to you, man, that game was absolutely beautiful. Substitute Yildiz was magical. It's showing the Marco is one of the best left back so far. That guy have amazing talent. Naso Ibaga says Aqua United and the entire management are the worst team in the world. Nonsense team. God bless the Oracle Benga Ogumbote. Olafa says, boss, Thierry Henry asked a question when analyzing the Barca Academy, and he said there is no football club in the world that their academy dominate the first team like they do. Do you agree with him? What reason do I have not to agree with him? An academy that produces Fabregas, Carlos Puyol, Messi, Andres Iniesta, Sergio Busquets, who again? Xavi Hernandez, Pedro, Ansu Fati, Gavi, Pedri, Lamine Yamal. And you're still asking me this question if I agree with Thierry Henry. Please name another football club. And they don't just go and then they sell them like you see in Benfica, in Porto, in Borussia Dortmund, in RB Leipzig and the rest. They come in and play in a team as big. Listen, in the last 20 years of football, Barcelona are among the 4 greatest teams on the planet Earth. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea. And to play at that level, and look at the other teams, they can't even afford to bring players from the academy to play. And to play at that level and play at the El Clasico with a smile on their face, dominating opposition the way they are doing. So I should say Thierry Henry is lying, right? I be football analyst too, but I not be the one. Payman say, I love the energy this morning. If the weekend is good, the energy is always good. Toseluade says, I saw a post on Instagram on why Spanish and German coaches are better than English coaches. First off, let's not talk about it, because I don't know why you want to bring this conversation. What do you want to bring? Do you need a post on Instagram If you need a Tosi, see, I not say my guy, but right now I supposed to flog you. You see that kick where horse they kick person for blockers. Horse supposed to kick your blockers right now. You know where. Yeah? Because we want to analyze everything, you want to bring this kind of sense. Come on for here. English coach, the greatest English coach of all time, now still Legbere, Sir Bobby Robson. Well, what's that? Is Sir Bobby Robson is more known for producing Jose Mourinho than for really doing proper coaching and winning something and introducing any tactics to football. As people dislike Louis van Gaal, Louis van Gaal is one of the godfathers of football in terms of coaching, in terms of style. He brought the stars that he brought. Those just be English coaches and look, more to show respect now. They say Jagoda de Lagos, they compare it with Warri Jagoda. The Jagoda de Lagos. We get area boys for Lagos, but no use and compare. No, you can't wake up now say Lagos Jagoda go beat Warri Jagoda. 4 boys for SSL Road go shut down the whole of Lagos. 4 boys, just 4 boys. A whole German and a Spanish coach. What do they do you now? I don't understand. Somebody they say Nigerian educational system not good. You can't say person where they go nursery school, no pass will go Unilag. I don't understand. Tosin, don't let me wound you now. Tosin, they say there was a foul outside of the box in the build-up. I beg, Chief, come off my front. Leave all this talk. The line why you said this Barca team is something else. Flick has got to be doing something unique with these kids. Even Rafinha that almost died and was buried last season is doing great. Mbappe is gathering dust. It's early days for him. Come on, guys, calm down. I know that to the banter, to the sweet to now. Anything where you get banter inside, they give an orgasm. But I'm gonna calm down. P-Man say, I disagree with the mentality take. If it were to be the Arsenal of old, they would have crumbled with that much injuries before and during the game. It was a fair result for both teams and even fairer for Arsenal. I agree with you. Kenneth Madrid Maxim says that I think it is time Real Madrid start benching Mbappe for Rodrigo. Is Rodrigo and Mbappe playing in the same position? Maybe if you say Hendrick, I would understand, but they're still not playing in the same position. See, the problem is not Mbappe. Let's be very honest here. The problem is Ancelotti trying to fix too many players into that midfield. So the midfield does not have a coordination that works. Remember when Andres Iniesta and Xavi left Barcelona and all of a sudden Messi and Suarez, Neymar and Suarez left, Messi became very ordinary, the almighty great Messi. So it's not about Mbappe right now, it's about the support cast around Mbappe that's really the problem. So I don't think it's about benching. If you still put Rodrigo there, there's going to be a problem. We all know that Mbappe and Vini is always going to be a little bit tacky, but you need to find the right combination. If he played that diamond system that he played in Chelsea, in this Madrid, I'm sure they'll be comfortable. But well, they don't have the quality of the players that they have when he was at Chelsea. I'm talking about Carlo Ancelotti now. But to just put it to swapping, well, forget about it. Nobody's going to bench Mbappe. That guy is money on and off the field. If he's not injured, he go play a beg. Yamida no myself, how do you think Arsenal can help Timbers avoid long term? There's not something to help. It's not something to help. So it's genetics, for instance. It's the way your body. It's how your biomechanics is. That's the word I want to say. Kinetics. Your biomechanics decide. A Honda, no matter how you push the engine, you boost it, cannot outrun a Ferrari. A Ferrari is a Ferrari. Whether it's a Countach, it's whatever the Ferrari is, it's a Ferrari, right? So the body that you have, that you bring to football, will not change because you have a special type of coach or this. But Haaland is an example. The work rate can be reduced. Unfortunately, that is easily done with strikers, not with defenders, because a striker's work rate can be controlled by his team. A defender's work rate is determined by the opposition. So if you play against an opposition that's coming at you in torrent, in force, you've got to walk. You've got to stretch your leg. You've got to put in your body. There's going to be contact. But a striker can decide, I don't want to jump. In all my years of playing football, I need a not ball. Nothing you go do, cross the ball. I'm not putting my head in that ball. I'm a forward player. I always believe when the ball reach my leg, it is called football, not head ball. I'm not putting my head in that one. You know why? When I was playing youth football, somebody punched this ear. Goalkeeper Coach Ele punched this ear. I'm not hear word for months. And the hear echo from here. If they talk for here, they go here. If you talk now, go here 2 hours later. So nothing. If you like talk, if they want cross corner, and I mean they either cross or I mean maybe that guy where they outside the 18 where they wait for rebound and they go help you defend. It's as simple as that. Defenders cannot have that luxury. So as a defender is going to stretch, and if his biomechanics did not form well from the beginning, there's going to be a problem. There's nothing a coach can do. Is the talent there? Yes. Is the understanding, the ability there? Yes. But this is a league that requires more running, more stretching, more expansion of the muscles and the nerves and all that. And that's why if you look La Liga, you look the German Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, you hardly see defender where you say they cannot defend well. But in England, there's always a set of defenders they don't sabi defend, they don't sabi defend. You know why? Because the task, the demand, the stretch, the requirement on them is much. So if your biomechanics have not already been formed properly, it's going to be a problem. No matter how much of a good teacher you have, if a child whose brain is not well formed come to your class, is it the fault of the teacher? And now the same thing. So I've heard a lot of people ask this question about injury management, blah, 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 blah. You can say, okay, you know what, don't train every day. Like what Sir Alex Ferguson did with Robbie Van Persie. Don't train every day, train twice a week, just do small, light work and all that. But when you come for match, you go stretch them. And when you start stretching that muscles, and if your muscles are not elastic enough like other people, so let me give you a good example. If you watch TikTok regular, you see somebody, a girl like you, your age mate, that can bend a body from back like this and their head will come from under their leg and then they will go up. Or if you watch America Got Talent, can you do it? No, because you didn't configure your body like that. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Your biomechanics is bad. You didn't go through that kind of training. So somebody now sees you and now is measuring you with that other girl who's your mate who's doing that. So that's the problem. But I don't think that there is much they can do. The doctors will do their job. But you see, doctors have only 2 jobs to do, preventive and curative. But in sports, doctors will do a lot of preventive, but you will still go and battle ram your body. And once you battle ram that body, something is going to give. Somebody hits your knee. That echogram that goes through the bones that tells you there's a shock sensation. It's like when you're eating beans and you bite a stone. That sensation on your teeth, you will have to wait for some days for it to calm down. That's the same thing with the human body when it comes to sports. There's not anybody can do. I'm sorry, I'm being long-winded, but I like to answer this injury thing because is it the doctors at Arsenal that are not good? Is it the doctors that no, last season they played without so much injuries. Was it the doctors that were good or bad? Did they change the doctors now? No. It's just what it is. Some of the players that will come in are players that have history with injuries, but they are good players and you're tempted to want them. You never see boy when we say, if they see good girl, but that bad girl I want to sleep with because that body get some aura where boys they like. But now when they want marry now, you can't know, so they really know with the good girl. You don't understand? So that's the same thing with football. Some things you just can't control it. It just have to happen. The last one you say Inter-Juve match was a fun game. Sometimes you are just happy you watch some games live as it happens. I had to watch the highlights again this morning. Interesting. You know what Shadibwale says? When a striker is caught by an offside trap twice or thrice, the midfielders begin to hesitate before making passes to the striker and they end up releasing the ball too late or making the wrong passes. I agree with you on that one too. Okay, guys, say Arsenal should swap Jesus for Gyökeres and add money and thank you note to Sporting Lisbon. Well, Jesus is not a bad player, it's just that he's got injuries. I will Baba says, Baba, I said Ademola is underrated from the lens of marketing. That's his job, not be the club, not be me. That's his job. It's Ademola's job. So let me give you a good let me give you an example. If Tony Becker comes out and walk from Ekpe to Bonicamp or to Ikeja, say it's walking, there are very few people who will know him. But Tony Becker is one of the best sports presenter in the country today. One of the best. There's another guy called Sammy Wejia. If he comes and walk from Port Harcourt to Kano, there are very few people who know him. they're not using social media. I remember when I started, I'm the first guy in sports broadcasting that was doing social media. People used to say that I'm an attention seeker, I'm an attention grabber, right? So now everybody wants to do it. Everybody now realizes, oh, that's the right thing because I'm a pioneer, right? If you do not take the moment, because football as a career is a fleeting career, it's not a permanent, it's not a 30-year stay like working in the army or civil service or being a teacher, right? It's a 15, at most 20 years career. The first 6 to 7 or 10 years, you are just discovering yourself. In between that 8 to 15 years is when it really, really matters, okay, for some. If you do not use it to set up a team, if you look at the NBA basketball players, they sign a contract and they have a management team, they have marketing team, they have everything. But you will still see Nigerian footballers are shit when it comes to brand marketing identification. As it is, there is not a Nigerian player that have a brand that, like, if you see this E, you know this is my logo. Anywhere you see him for the world, this E that the Olarawaju is using, you know this is Edafe, right? Anywhere you see it in the world, and it stands side by side with CNN logo, it stands side by side with ESPN logo. Clearly, we're not made budget wise, but brand wise, we're chasing each other. That's what you do when you understand that I go play this game. This game is a vehicle. I will stop at my final bus stop, and then the brand will now work for me for the rest of my life. If you do not take time to do it, football, another person will come play like that, and they will forget you. If this Napoli team wins the Serie A, this is everybody forget what Osimhen did the other day. That's how football is. It's not something new. That's the way football is. It's the currency of the game. So it is up to you to live deliberately, intentionally, and strategically as a football player. Seize the moment when it is there. Ademola Lookman does not even make tweets. Ademola Lookman does not engage with fans. When he even comes to the national team, he's covering his head like that Mumu, Alex Iwobi. They all cover their head in, what's it called, Kevin Bassi, Online is friendly. Then they just go because they are UK boys. Now me walk off the run marketing for you. No, now PRO is business. You have to pay people to do it. David Beckham changed the way it is done, and thank God for Victoria Beckham that he married, because Victoria had been in the spotlight all her life and understood the difference between playing football and marketing football. These are things that our players need to know. If they don't know, and their family members need to know. If their family members don't know, then fuck them. That is their business. I don't give a hoot about who they be. So it's not for you to come tell me that they are and they're marketing them. No, it's their job. They can't do their job. Then get out. Yamida might say, if you can predict who will be taking off Madrid to make the space, the spice is perfect. Which of the forward will go first? No, it's not the forward. The problem is not the forward. The problem is the midfield. Why are they playing? See, 85 to 90% of the games that Madrid will play, they are in the front foot. Why are they playing two defensive? What's Tchouaméni and Valverde doing in that midfield? Can they retain the ball? So take away Tchouaméni, and then they should be substituting each other. I'm bringing a creative midfielder into that place and set your diamond properly. That's all. You see, Vini. Nobody feel bench Vini right now. I don't care who you are. You don't feel bench Vini. Mbappe is untouchable. Starboy is the future, the guy that they want to use to pursue multiple Ballon d'Or because it's good for them. The contract that they sign with their sponsors, for every time a Madrid player wins the Ballon d'Or, the club gets some money. So that's the guy that they want to push. So it's any other person that will come on that side, Hendrick, Rodrigo, and the rest. It's not the attack. The attack is not a problem. Who cooks the food? The attackers are the guys who eat the food. The people who cook the food, the cooking section is the one. The kitchen is not what the part that is not working. So that's the part that they will fix. Oluwaseyi says Cruz's absence was really felt in the game. No surprise, Modric was one of Madrid best player when he came. Agba midfielder will always find a way. Yemi Dynamite says, I don't know. Says this is the issue I noticed, Uncle. Even the complaints sometimes before the devil promise, when they too have influence and power. As I am, I don't trust Nigerians with power even in the abroad. So it is. Kenneth Madrid Max say Edafi, did you by any chance watch Inter? Yes, I did. What a match. Additional Max says Inter versus Jimmy 4-4 draw was exciting for the neutrals, but nightmare for both coaches. It was so exciting to watch that small boy coming in. Okay, it is to score 2 goals is a great way to show he's young and ready. Yemida might say all that stretching won't matter in heaven, Uncle E. Oh, Jesus Christ. Arotorego says this weekend result between Arsenal and Liverpool, sweet Misha. That's a Man City fan. He's a devil. He's a devil. Even though he's responsible for us running the show this morning, but he's a devil. Lucky Ogale says, bros, did you see the Van der Ven tackle on Saturday? No, I didn't see that game. Spurs. And I only watch Spurs. You want to watch rubbish game? What is your opinion? I didn't watch it. I don't watch Spurs. Spurs are not a team to watch unless they're playing against Arsenal. I don't watch them. They're useless team. There's nothing to watch. There's nothing to enjoy. You don't watch Spurs and you enjoy the game. You don't watch Spurs and you learn anything. You know that you're watching a shitty team. If they win, no, they're still shitty. If they whatever they do, that toilet. Who goes to the toilet and sit down? Let's see, be Korodu boy to go and smoke the smelling soccer smell. Nobody enjoys the toilet. So Spurs are Spurs. Well, having said that, we've come to the end of the show. It's been a wonderful time on the show today. One additional subscriber. If you've not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what we did to you. If you say you don't enjoy the show, I don't know. Maybe your balablu is worse than our own, but we're all dealing with this balablu thing, and we're trying our best to make sure we entertain you, inform you, analyze the game the way we want to. I want to give you a show like this every day, but it's down to you guys. The kind of questions you ask also will determine how the analysis will come. Having said that, I've had fun this morning. If you've not had fun, I'm not responsible for your problem. You know what your problem is. Go and face it and deal with it well. But like I said, align yourself with people who are going in the direction that you're going. Make friends in the areas that you're weak. Look for people that are strong where you're weak, and align yourself. Like I always say, you have a smartphone, do the smart thing, read about your dream, and find a way to figure out what will work in the future and be the people who's providing the solution so that you will be among the kings and not the slave. My name is Edafi Matthew Sogane. You'll have to call me the Elevator on Spurs. Have a wonderful day. And before I go, remember to order beautiful ripe barley, well-grilled fish, chicken, and turkey from the grill. They are the best. You can search them out on Instagram and make your order. Having said that, bye-bye.